Welcome back to the How to Start a Relationship series. And if you didn't watch the first part of this video that was for men, 8 steps to woo a lady, then you should probably check it out. The link should be somewhere around this video. But today we are talking to the ladies, and these are like 6 steps on how to get the right man and get the right life partner. The first step is finding your target. And we are not necessarily saying that as a lady, like in the case of a man, you find a man that you like and you start working on that project. No, because as a lady, you can find a man, but the man is not necessarily interested in you. But and it's not like you're going to go and ask him out. But for the guy, he has some action steps he can do. The lady in our society, I'm taking into consideration the taboos, you have to kind of wait for the man to reach out. So it's important in this case that when we say find your target, we are saying you first of all identify as a lady mentally, what kind of man do you want in your life? What are his characteristics? Physical, soulical, purpose-wise, vision. What should he be pursuing? What should drive him? What should he be going after in his life? Because once you have that clear picture in mind, it takes us to the next step, which probably, of course, usually is supposed to be the first step by default, is that are you the kind of lady that person would want, that kind of man would want? If that answer is not a yes, then you're not ready. You have to go back and start working on yourself. Because if you say you want to settle with a man that is this and this and that and loves this and this and that and pursues this, he loves God, he is prayerful. Are you prayerful? Do you love God? So that is it. And at this point, then we have to see that if you have done that and you have prepared yourself to be that kind of person, then the third step is that you have to mingle. When we talk of single, ready to mingle, you're not going to sit in your house and lie on your couch and expect the dream man to just knock on your door and get in there. No, you have to socialize, go out to social programs, put yourself up there. I mean, you're in the market, so be in the market so that people can know that you're in the market and maybe start bidding or something. Well, I don't know if that makes a point, but you get my point. So you have to get out there and socialize. You have to position yourself. That's what I talk about, this position yourself to get seen. Many ladies, okay, they're looking for a husband in church, and immediately after service, boom, they're on their way running to go home to go and watch the next episode of this season of this series. And probably a brother had seen you during the service and was planning to talk to you after, and before he could say hello, you're gone. That shouldn't be the case. You have to position yourself. You have to be available. You have to interact. You have to present yourself as a package worth having. Of course, you're not pretending. You're not lying. You're not overselling. That's why we had the previous point of you first working on yourself before getting out there in the market. You don't go to the store to get disappointed by 40 products that have been put in the market. You want to see that you're the best of the best before you get in the market. And obviously, this takes us to the fourth point, assuming that the points in the other video that we saw was about the man showing interest, initiating contact. Once you notice that this guy, okay, he's expressing interest, he's giving hints, you have to pick it from there and go to step number 4, which is to investigate. This is perhaps one of the most critical stages you must do. I always tell young people, you have to be a detective when it comes to this. You want to research and investigate everything about this man before you're quick to get swept off your feet in love. Because yes, the heart loves, but you got to tell the heart to hold it down, let the brain do its investigations first. And then the beautiful thing is that today, social media has made it very easy, at least in some way, to investigate and do what we can call background checks. I mean, to join the military, to join many companies today, they have to do a lot of background checks on you, on your family, on your friends. If you've ever greeted someone on the street 10 years ago, they want to know who you greeted. This is the person you plan on eventually marrying and spending the rest of your life with. So you definitely don't want to skip any step, but you want to take your time to research and investigate. The reason is you want to see that people share the same values, the same principles, the same passions, the same desires, because marriage, a long-term relationship like marriage, is not just about sex. It's not just about, love and the juicy fantasy that the media paints, but there are going to be challenges, and you want that you should have a lot of things in common to keep you going together. So when you say you want a man who loves the Lord, you go out there, you investigate, you research. What are the kind of things they post? What are the kind of things they share or like or react? What are the kind of comments? It's true, like I said in the previous video, with social media, people curate a lot of things they post. So you can't just take what they have posted as gospel truth, but yet you can focus on the things they do much more subconsciously, like the arguments they get into, the debates, the reactions they make. Those are the more things which you can get real authentic data from, compared to the things they have curated themselves and posted. But still, people can expose a lot of things. If you want someone who is decent and dresses decently, hangs around and keeps themselves in purity, and then they keep posting with going out with every girl in the street, then you want to really reconsider, because they're probably just trying to add you on their long list of conquests. Now that you're the latest investigative agent in your personal secret service agency, and your research data has proven that this is what giving a shot and is acceptable based on your principles and your values and your standards, then obviously step number 5 is conviction. Especially for the lady, you want to receive an assurance from someone bigger than yourself. Why? Because it's easy to think you made a mistake once you start a relationship and challenges start coming on. And it's guaranteed. Challenges are always going to be there. So just forget about the happily ever after you see on the media. There are going to be challenges. But conviction that you get from praying, from submitting that person to God and asking for his will, and once you get that conviction and God tells you, yes, this is the right person, or this will be a right person for you, there's not necessarily just one right person for you, you can proceed to the next step. Obviously, remember, you don't go to God, like I said, when you've already approved the person in your heart and you're just saying, God, I've approved, sign under here. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to go with an open mind, open heart, ready for God to even say no. So actually, when you're going to God, you should somehow, in a way, not already have an expectation of the answer you want. You have to be open to whatever answer the Lord will give, so that you can hear him clearly. I mean, sometimes we go to God with already a preconceived answer, and where God says you cannot be together, what you only hear is be together. You're like, oh, I heard be together. You forget about the you cannot that you heard before. Why? Because you went in the presence of God with your own answers that you already conceived. So you go with an open heart and you table that before God. This is person interested in me, I'm interested in them, what do you think? Once you get that conviction and assurance from the Spirit of God in your heart, peace of mind that this will work. But if there is no peace, you're agitated, then, well, it doesn't matter how glittering the offer looks, you definitely have to turn it down for your own sake and for the sake of your future children, right? And point number 6, like I said in the previous video, you kind of have to start things slow. You don't necessarily or press to give a yes immediately, but giving the green lights that you can actually start something, so that you get to learn the person closer. Because there are a lot of things you can't just learn by investigating remotely or asking from the people around that person, but it's hanging out with the person, going out together, that you see how they treat the waiter, you see how they treat the Uber driver, you see how they react towards other people around them, that you're taking notes up close. And it's from there that you can now finalize a confirmative answer. Now you have to be very wise as a lady, because men, once they want something, they can put up any clothing that they think that is what you expect them to put on, for as long as they need to put it on until they have gotten what they want. And then you get to see what we talk about, your true color. So you want to be careful. You want to see that by default, this person first and foremost is submitted, loves the Lord. Scripture says the believer has nothing to do with the unbeliever. They are passionate. They are not just a wolf in sheep clothing. And then you want to take your time to take months to see every aspect. And because a key criteria of true love that is different from lust is that it's patient. Obviously, we're not saying you're going to keep a brother for long because you want to see if he's patient or not. No, we don't do that. But we're saying that it shouldn't be a rush, okay? And obviously, the boundaries. I say every healthy relationship starts with boundaries from day one. In the kingdom, we know God's principles and boundaries for healthy relationships. The problem is, once you violate those boundaries, you compromise the integrity and the value of all what that relationship could have offered. The scriptures tell us in Hebrews 13 verse 4, marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled, but fornicators and adulterers God will judge. Those are not my words, nor my handwriting. That is scripture. So setting up boundaries kind of sees to it that both parties are one another's keeper in the relationship. You don't just assume, but you have to tell yourself, okay, this is what I believe. No kissing, no sex, no. Yes, I agree with that. We will keep each other in check and try to correct every single time we notice anyone going out of bounds. And of course, like I said, we are not just here for fun and for jokes. These are principles, wisdom to have real dominion in your relationships and marriage. So this is for serious long-term marriages. We are not here to play. Why? Because I said in the previous video, for every failed relationship, having fun relationship, you just go out, have fun, you break up. For every single one, you reduce your chances of actually having a successful relationship. It's psychological, because how do you convince yourself that this one is the right one, is going to work, when the previous 5, the previous 10 didn't? You can't convince your mind against those odds. So that is why you have to see to it that you're not quick to rush in thinking you can easily rush out. No, you want to take your time and do things the right way and do them once and for all. So I really wish and pray that you have the best in your relationships and eventually your marriage, and you receive the grace to apply God's principles and put this to practice so that you can have the best of it all. So let me know in the comments below, which of these steps have you never practiced before? Which of them is new to you, or which of them have you done, and what results did you get? I would like to read those in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. A big shout out to our Patreons for making this video possible. You too can support us to create more content like this. The link to our Patreon page is in the comments below. So I'm Buddha Jumesi from Wisdom for Dominion. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, well, happy relationships.